What's up, my Makokos, Raid Pros, and Bonk Bros? Defender here, and welcome back to another video. Now, today I've got a good one for you. We're talking about Brelshaza, and we're talking about future-proofing. So we're talking about prep, we're talking about value, and we're talking about situating your character ready for Brelshaza, whether it's Gate 1 and 2, Gate 3 and 4, or Gate 5 and 6, all of the content. Doesn't matter what your current eye level is, we're going to be talking about what the best thing for you to do up until then is to make sure you get the most value, okay? But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe for the content. I really want to keep bringing this stuff to you. We're growing really, really quick. I think, we've already got 700 subscribers. I've already had like 75,000 views, almost 1,000 followers on Twitter. We're really blowing up, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on how to improve all the time. We're still making the infographics for class builds, so please consider dropping a subscribe if you haven't already. Like the videos if you're really enjoying the content, and let me know in the comments down below if you're not, or if there's ways I can improve. I'm always willing to learn and hear criticism and feedback and just grow as much as I can. So please, please, please consider any of those options when you're watching this video. Thank you. Alright, so let's get straight into today's content. And today I want to talk about honor shards. And honor shards is probably something that you've already maybe seen a video or two on before, or people are talking about it on Discord or on the forums or on Twitter. And basically, I think a lot of people have come to the consensus, myself included, that honor shards are going to be the most important material when it comes to NAEU progressing in its catch-up to Korea. Now, Korea are several Legion raids ahead of us. They've had Brelshaza for a while. They've had the hard mode. They've had a Khan recently, and they're still progressing further in Tier 3. And the only thing that's stuck with them as they've gone is honor shards. Everything else has changed, and I'll put up some screenshots of what we're going to be expecting to go into. But essentially, the materials we know now, we're going to have some soft resets. And soft resets are going to change these materials to require a newer version of this, a higher valued version of this material to hone the newer armors and the newer sets from the new raids. And it doesn't mean we're going to lose out on all the stuff we've already got. All this stuff can then be transferred at a ratio of 5:1 approximately for everything. But the only thing that hasn't changed is honor shards. Now, honor shards are extremely, extremely valuable because of this. And the prices of this and its limited weekly amount that you can obtain, we're gated to how much we can actually get, really means the value of it is going to skyrocket. And I'm predicting that when Brelshaza comes out, it's going to really, really skyrocket, at least double what it is now for most people. At the moment, I think it's around 400 for a big bag literally on the money, 400 for a big bag in EU, probably something similar in NA, which means that we're paying something like 120 to 135 for each 500 honor shards. And because there's such a limited means of obtaining these weekly, and I'm going to go through all the options that you can do to make sure you maximize the amount and how much you can actually get each week. But because of this, it means that the value is always going to increase as people with FOMO or the whales want to juice, or as we get new content, because you can only do so much and then run out, and all you can do is wait at that point, and people don't want to wait. They'd rather spend their money than wait for the reset or to have to wait to go into the new content if they're not ready for it. So just bear that in mind, because I believe the prices are going to skyrocket. Now, it's just a prediction. I'm not saying go invest in this. It's just what I expect. And I'm going to personally invest in it. I've actually started to already a little bit. I've been hoarding up on my materials here. I know it's nothing fancy, but, I'm saving Arc Pass stuff. I'm saving up all the materials. We've been saving our Great Honors to turn in. And, hopefully we can use these Honor Shards as well. And the worst comes to worst is we sell them if we don't use them. So there's a huge profit potential there, I believe, but also you're going to need these in abundance if you're planning to raid in Brelshaza. Right, so let's get into honor shards, because I want to go through the nitty-gritty of it, the value of it, and basically what we know is if you want to be ready for Brelshaza, you need to be at least 1490, okay? And I'll do a video about parking spots for all your characters and what the best value is, how much you get from the raid, what you can hone up to with items from the raid, and then essentially kind of how you can be efficient in clearing the full Brelshaza if that's what you're looking to do, and where to stop beforehand so that you're ready. Right now I'm at 1510 myself, and I'm looking to get up to 1515 with these last 2 pieces here and be ready, but I've got plenty of time. So what I'm doing now is I'm gathering my honor shards, okay? And honor shards come through a big list of means, and we want to talk about them one by one. But the most important honor shard means of gathering right now, so the best stock you can get, is simply from your chaos dungeons. And you should be doing these every single day you play, okay? This should be the priority, hands down, above all else if you're playing every day, or when you do play, on the days you play. Chaos dungeons are the GOAT, okay? And I gathered some data from approximately 2 weeks of playing 5 classes, 1460 to 1475-ish. And basically what I found was each chaos gate at 1475 was netting me somewhere between 5.5 to 6.5 honor shards from both of them every day, and then the ones at 1445 were netting me somewhere around, again, 4.5 to 5.5, maybe a little bit higher. But essentially what you're looking at is every day, if you do your chaos dungeons and you're getting ready for Brelshaza, you're in the mid 1400s, maybe higher, you're going to be looking at least 5,000 honor shards from these chaos dungeons. And that is huge, because that is the weekly amount that you can get from a lot of other means. So if you're timesing that by 7, you're doing it every week, you're looking at 35,000 honor shards just from chaos dungeons, okay? And that is huge. It's got to be up there with the highest amount you can earn from any means. And by the way, the chaos gates aren't including the bonus rooms, okay? If you get a red room, that's going to give you a boss room. That's going to give you a lot of honor shards. I'm not sure if you get honor shards from a gold room, but you might do. It might be in one of the options from the gold rooms, but let's just say the red rooms, they will give you a lot. Okay, so that's not including that as well. So you can obviously factor that in as a variable. Okay, and I've actually written down, and I'll put the document up on the screen for you as I'm talking about it in post-production. But essentially, there are lots of one-time ways that you can obtain honor shards, but right now I want to go through the means that you can do every week that are gated, that are limited. And so we talked about the chaoses on the daily, okay, but you also have your daily unas, and there's 3 options for daily unas that make it fantastic. And I've just done these, and I've got some footage of how quick they are. They're super, super quick to do, just as quick as your Great Honor Leapstone ones, if not quicker, with a couple of Bifrosts. And you have 2 options at 720, which are the highest, okay, and then there's a few options for 630, maybe 5 or 6 options, and I've just chosen this one here with the Horse Thieves, okay, in North Vern. Very, very quick. Spawn rates are really, really high. You don't have to wait around for other people doing it, and I've seen a few other people start to do it as well, and they're caught on to the fact that there's a quick means to do it, and the honor shards are important, but it's super, super quick, okay? So these 3 are very, very quick, and I'll go through those a little bit in some footage that I've got for you recorded already, okay? And so that comes to, I think if you do it 7 days a week, it's just over 2,000 every day, times 7, you're looking at 14,000, okay? And so all I've got is I've got my Bifrost set up to be really quick with this. So I'll just show you quickly each one. And so Shadow Island is a small island north of North Vern. You can't set a Bifrost inside the building itself for the Unas Daily and for the quest, but you can set it just outside the front door. And you go in, and the idea is that you need to go up the tower levels. It's the same place as the tower if you've already done that on tier 1 and tier 2. And I tend to go up to the 3rd or 4th level, because the higher the floors you go, the more credit you get for your kills. Like, say for example, if I start killing these guys now, I only got 2 out of 100 from killing about 10. Whereas if I go a higher level, let's say I go to the 3rd level or the 4th level, each kill is going to give me at least 1 point, or maybe more. So I'm just going to go to the 4th one and show you. And this is all very, very low level 1 kind of difficulty stuff. And the mini bosses as well will give you a lot of credit if you hit one of those. So if you see one on the way, make sure you hit it. Let's just go up to this one, and we'll just sit somewhere on one of the sides. And what it's going to do is, the spawn rates are so high for this. I'm not sure why originally. Maybe they expected it to have a lot of foot traffic. Or maybe it's just part of the intended gameplay for the difficulty, originally in tier 1. But you can just stay in one spot, and the enemies will spawn fast enough for you to kill. And as you can see, I'm already up to the high 70s, and I'll be done in no time. Okay, and then you just have to go back down to the ground floor and turn it in at the priest. Okay, so it's that simple. That's easy. That's done. A couple of minutes of your time each day, and that's the highest earning one you can currently do at 720. We just turn it into the priest over here. And we're done with that one, okay? And then we just head outside and we're going to Bifrost to the next location, which is on Runaway Island. Runaway Island is just north of Arthurtine, so you can go to the Arthurtine port and then just sail up immediately to it. Only takes a few seconds to get there from Arthurtine, okay? Or Arthurtine, I should say. And on this island, the quest is just going to have you look for 3 different people, a locksmith, like a ransomer, and someone who's pretending to be someone else. And they'll come up on the mini-map. That's the best way to find them. And you just talk to them before they disappear. And that can be quite difficult because they do move around a lot. But just like I said, follow the mini-map and you'll be fine. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. And what you can do is you can just wait around this area for them to spawn. If you wait long enough, each of them will spawn over and over and over. I believe they're currently rotating in spawns around the map in these locations over there, as you see. And then they'll spawn over here as well. But yeah, if you were to run around the map, you would find them in abundance. They can disappear, despawn before you get to them. So don't be too disheartened. They do spawn plenty, that you won't have any issue finding them. Normally for me it takes less than a minute to find them, but as I'm recording the footage, of course, they're not spawning in this area, so very typical kind of RNG, just to prove a point. And as I jump down, it spawns. So we've got to run all the way back around again. If I was smart, I really would just put a Bifrost up here, and then as I hit the Bifrost, I would already be up the top to be able to decide if I wanted to stay up for these ones or not, or just jump down. But I didn't, I set the Bifrost on the floor. Okay, so that's number 2 done, and that is the 2 720 Honor Leapstone, Honor Shard dailies, and then the third one is your choice. But I've gone for the Northern one just because it's a huge continent. It's very, very quick. It's tier 1 enemies as you're leveling up, so you can just one-shot them all in tier 3 difficulty, and you'll see it just doesn't take that long at all. As soon as I spawn in on top of the mini boss that you need to kill, it won't take long at all. Okay, so that's the mini boss that you need to kill. And then you can either wait for them to spawn again in a wave of 6 or 8, or you can just go and kill the last few spaced around the outside. So we'll just go back to where we started, and we'll just wait for them. Shouldn't take more than 20-30 seconds to respawn these, because they're on a high respawn leveling zone, because people are questing to do these as they level up to 50, so they need to be on a fast respawn. And as you can see, there you go, they're back. And so is the mini-boss. So even if other people are doing this quest, it's very, very quick. You just then instant teleport to the triport in the middle of the map, turn the quest in, and you're done. That's all 3 of your Honor Shard dailies. Very, very quick, less than 5 minutes to do. You don't need to instant complete, but you can. And also, if you wanted to, you could even in turn take an extra daily every day from the extra tickets that they're giving out at the moment, and then you could just do another 630 on top of that, and that would have you close to 3,000 Honor Shards a day. Okay, so really, really quick, really easy. Anyone can do this, even people that don't have much time in the day. You can just set these 3 triports up, the 3 Bifrosts up, and you're done. Okay, 5 minutes of your time. And then if we talk about the weekly Unas, the hands down best option for weekly Unas for Honor Shards is, first of all, your 6 Chaos dungeons. Okay, so you get 1,700 there, and then your next best option is going to be gifting from the sea. Now what this is turning in 6 keys from sailing activities, okay, and they're going to be listed all the way down at the bottom of this sailing storage here. So these keys here, you're going to obtain these by doing sailing events as you play. Okay, so you want to go onto this side calendar here and just look for sailing events, and they're going to be listed every day. And essentially, you go to one of these, you do the mini-games, and every mini-game you finish has a chance to give you a key to take into a gate. And the key correlates to the name of the gate you're going to go into. But if you look here, so we have Sailing Co-op here. Either of these that you do, and they're on every day, every mini-game has a chance to give you a key correlating to that zone. And then A couple times a week, gates are going to spawn that you can go into, and you can spend those keys at the end of the gates instance for a chance at loot. Now they can give you secret maps that give you collectibles. So if you're still working on your collectibles, that's fantastic. They're going to give you coins, and also it works towards this this weekly for the Unas, and it's the highest Unas you can do for honor shards, so it's absolutely worth doing. Each sailing activity takes 5 to 10 minutes, and the gate itself 5 minutes, and you can open up 6 keys in one gate if you wanted to, even more if you have 20, 30. You know, you have plenty of time at the end of the activity to spend your keys, and you just open 6, okay? So that's the second one that's really, really valuable. And then the third one is really up to you. If we're talking overall value, the overall value hands down is this one, okay? So you're getting a mix of Great Honor Leapstones and Honor Shards. Now you're getting less Honor Shards than some of the other options, but in my opinion, these other options aren't valuable because they're going to give you something that isn't what we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about hoarding materials, we're talking about getting the highest value. So you might choose this one or this one because they're higher in honor shards, but really the value is coming from the honing materials, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the honing materials, so we're just going to be going for the 2 1700s and the proving grounds at 680 with the Great Honor Leapstones. And I've done the maths for this, and I can put that up on the screen as well to talk about the value of Great Honor Leapstones versus honor shards for the weeklies and the dailies. So those are the 3 weeklies. Very, very quick. PvP, I'll go into a little bit as well because it's really important that we understand the value of PvP for honor shard prep. But this one, just know there is some value in taking this and doing what I'm going to discuss on PvP. Okay, and then we get onto the Legion Raid chests. I'll put up the information for the Legion Raids chest, but essentially what we're talking about with that is even if you are 1500 plus, the value from Legion Raid chests, spending your gold for them, is extremely, extremely high. Now, you might not need the materials anymore, and even at their ratio of 1 to 5 in the upgrades for the new Brelshaza mats, they're still really valuable. Okay, you're getting the honor shards, which is the only way you get them from Legion Raids, from getting the chests with the bonus amounts. I believe hard mode Volton gets you 2,300. Hard mode Vicus gets you 3,900, and if you're doing Clown at the moment, I think he's 4,000, 4,200. They'll be up on the screen so you can confirm that. But essentially, if you combine all of those, that's over 10,000 honor shards every week. But you're also getting a ton of other mats and a chance at accessories being either really, really good for you or really valuable to sell on the auction house. So just bear that in mind. You're also getting the fused leapstones, which I'll talk about in another video for Brelshaza because they're going to be important. Okay, so the Legion Raid chests, really, really valuable. I'll put it up on screen to show you. You can put the numbers in of the values of the items on the auction house and work out their value, but generally speaking, it's going to be worth you buying even at 1500 plus. And then we go to your secret maps. Secret maps are what you get from these rifts here, which spawn several times a week. And then if you run these, they're going to give you loot in the form of honing material supplies. So you're going to get some of these support honing items, and you're also going to get some honor shard pouches, depending on the rarity of the map. Purple maps, I believe, give you the medium size. Blue ones give you the small ones, and legendary give you the large ones. The amount might be fixed, but I believe you get like 1 or 2, and then kind of 1 or 2 again, and then the large ones from the legendary ones give you 2 or more. But you also get a chance at some good engravings and some gems. So really, really important to make sure you do those as well. You're going to get rift currency from running those chaoses, the chaos rifts, and you can go spend them at the exchange merchants. And then you just run these in a group of 4. Simple. More honor shards, and you can even sell those if you wanted to make a profit. Okay, and then you have your challenge weeklies. Challenge weeklies here on the abyssals are really, really, really useful because they're going to give you a roster bound chests full of honor shards, somewhere between 2 and 3 chests per run of these honor shard pouches. Okay, and that comes to somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 honor shards every week running these and saving them. Okay, so I got two from one abyssal and 3 from the other this week, and that's 5. Okay, so that's 5,000 honor shards. So another means to save up some honor shards there. Really, really important. Okay, and then we have the events. The events at the moment, I've got some footage I'll put over the screen, but you can go to the harvest event vendor. trade in some supplies and get yourself some honing shard pouches. I believe you can get 20 medium pouches per week. This event is up, so that's 20,000 that you're going to be getting every week from this event, and it can be stored in your vault because it's roster bound, so you can use it on your main, or you can use it on a new character if you're waiting for Reaper or Summoner. Really, really crucial. Don't miss those every week. Really, really important. Okay, and then the big one I want to talk about today is the PvP. It's one that's only just kind of come back because we've had a bit of a downtime between the seasons, and that is the PvP season vendor. So this one works off of a couple of different things, but essentially what happens is you're going to play PvP, you're going to get a rank, okay, so your PvP tier rank, and what this means is when you get up to, once you get up to the higher ranks, you're going to get more courage coins every week, and these courage coins are your friend. These are the reason you should be doing PvP. I touched upon it before in a couple of videos, but now it's come back. What this means is every week you're going to be given these courage coins based on your rank, and you can go to the material exchange and you can exchange them for anything you want in any tier. You can see here we have all of these options, but what I want to touch on is the honor shards. Now these are the large honor shard pouches, and yes, they can be expensive, but as you can see, they're about 670 each. And last season I ended up somewhere, I don't really PvP much, but I ended up somewhere like Supreme 7 or Supreme 8, I believe it was. Again, that's somewhere between 11 and 15, let's say 13,000 courage coins every week. You can see that if we were to look at just the honor shards alone, there's 12, 16 of them, okay, and you need to be Supreme 8, so I must have been Supreme 8 before, or Supreme 7, one of the two. But let's say if you wanted to buy 18, because there's an extra 6 here, if you wanted to buy 18 lots of these for 670, that's going to cost you 12,000 courage coins, so it's going to cost you pretty much the entire amount that you would get in a week, but it is the most value that you're going to get out of anything on this list. I used to use it for the Great Honor Leap Stones because I was looking to catch my destroyer up, but I did also use it for the honor shards as well when I needed to. It's expensive, but it's absolutely worth doing. Make sure you jump onto PvP now. You don't have to do a lot, but if you're doing it, then make sure you grab the weekly for the PvP. Like I said, this one here is the best value for both of the materials combined. The math was on the screen before, but just take that, run 5 games, preferably in the ranked game system because that offers you the most towards your point system, and it's going to leave you with some courage coins at the end of the weekly reset when you come on Wednesday. Come to this vendor, buy the honor shards, and that is the best you can get for your value. And then let's talk about the Bloodstone vendor, the guild vendor. The guild vendor is extremely useful, not just because of the chests you can buy for a chance at boss rushes or cube tickets, but also you can get yourself honing mats. Now I've been using all my ults to buy up the destruction and guardian stones regularly every week, just from opening up the guild and donating silver every day, maybe doing a weekly or 2 along the line, and that's enough to buy out all those materials that are roster bound, and then you can put them in your vault and share them whichever character you want to hone, or you could sell them if you wanted to. But the weekly Bloodstone vendor can net you 3,000 3,000 honor shards just from your Bloodstones. Okay, you just go to the tier 3 materials page and you can pick those up for Bloodstones. Absolutely worth getting. It's a must. Get that every week, and obviously as we're counting down to Brelshaza, let's say we have maybe 8 weeks or so left, that's an extra 24,000. Stone vendor is something that it might seem costly, but in the scheme of things, just the value of honor shards is worth it alone. So if you go to honing materials, you go to the tier 3 section. As you can see, I've already bought these out, but we're looking at 6 options of 500. Okay, so that's 3,000 honor shards, and that's going to set you back 800 there. So you're looking at about 4.3 thousand bloodstones, which isn't that much. Okay, you're going to be getting that in a guild just from opening up your guild tab every day and donating silver, and maybe helping with any research they're doing. And then you can even go so far as to go into a siege and do one of the easier bosses if you want to. It's very easy to solo something in the C tier, maybe even the B tier if you're strong enough. And then if you do PvP with the guild, that's also a great option for Bloodstones. And then obviously you have your guild weeklies as well. If your guild chooses easy weeklies for you to attempt, then you're going to be getting that in abundance very, very quickly as well. So yeah, 4,500 at most Bloodstones is very, very easily obtainable every week to get, as well as, you know, your must-buy options that you're probably buying every week, like your tickets and also maybe your honor shards, your great honor leap stones as well. And so there's quite a few different vendors and means of access to getting honor shards to push past what you would consider your normal limitation of getting them every day and every week. And the first one that I think a lot of people don't get every week that they should do, even on their alts, in my opinion, is go to the TN Libra ship every week and just exchange your pirate coins for 5 lots of honor shards. And that's 5,000 honor shards that you're getting just from this vendor, and that's going to cost you 4,000 pirate coins, which is nothing in my opinion. We're given so many access points for pirate coins and the coins that you can trade for them. You know, you can trade in any of these coins for pirate coins. And with the selection boxes, you can see that sun coins give us the best value. So just choosing sun coins from your chests that you're given, trading them in for pirate coins, and then exchanging them for honor shards here is such an incredible value. Comparing that to the weekly Unas, for example, the weekly Unas, if you were to do the very, very best options, doesn't even net you this amount. So you're looking at 2 lots of 1,700, which is 3,400. Okay, so 17 there. 17 there's 3,400, and then you're adding in something like this that takes you to just over 4,000, or if you wanted a little bit more, you could go something like this, which is 4,500, but with a trade-off. Okay, so even the best options combined don't net you as much as just going to the TN Libra ship every week and buying those for pirate coins. Okay, and the next obvious one, if you're in the endgame Legion raids, is to go to the Legion raid exchange, and we have the Clown Mayhem vendor. And this one has insane value across the board, but most specifically I want to talk about is the large shard pouches. Okay, so there's 15 lots of 5,000 here, which is 75,000 honor shards. With quick math, I think that's right. I'm not going to question it. 75,000 honor shards, which is probably the biggest stockpile of honor shards in any vendor or any access in the game. It is a one-time thing for your roster, so bear in mind when you buy this, it's not going to reset every week. So make sure you use it properly and, you know, effectively. Don't just use it on an ult because they're short a little bit that you don't want to wait for their dailies to respawn. But this isn't going to cost you that much at all. It's literally only going to cost you 300 Mayhem marks, and you can get that from a couple of characters every week. That's 75,000 honor shards. Okay, so that is the biggest stockpile in the game. Make sure you use it well and don't just use it on an ult or something that you're on your way to working up to get. Spender's been around for a little while. He's over in Bellion Ruins in South Vern. You might have already done this, but if you haven't, this is another opportunity to get yourself some honor shards. So obviously there's plenty of materials in here, but as we can see, there was 10 lots of honor shards, which are medium, and so that's 10,000 honor shards there in the regular version. Okay, and then if we go into the advanced version, the hard version, you can again get yourself some large pouches, 30 at this time, so that's another 45,000. So if you haven't already done this, you can go get yourself over 50,000 honor shards from this vendor, and there's plenty of other stuff of high value in here if you haven't already got it. So make sure you go and do this. You simply just grab the weekly quest, you go around, kill some enemies, and then you run into the gate and you clear it to get some currency to spend at the vendor. Very, very simple. A lot of honor shards there if you haven't done it, and you can also just save those for a new character if you're trying to catch up on a Reaper or a Summoner like I mentioned before. Now this one is a very obvious one, but in my opinion, I was always doing this with my Destroyer because I was playing catch up with its class being released later in the game, and there's only so much materials you can kind of stockpile for a class's release, and so they're always going to be playing a little bit of catch up, and I was using this constantly to catch up in my Destroyers kind of period, and that was to just go into the Chaos Dungeon after you've done your 2 dailies and just farm the Chaos Dungeon for its currency drops and buy honor shard pouches. Now these are the big ones, so they're worth it more than you'd think, and 500 you can get in a couple of Chaos Dungeon runs. You can even be super efficient about the Chaos Dungeons and just run the first 2, kill the boss in the Chaos Dungeon part of Gate 2, see if he opens up a red or a gold portal, and if he doesn't, then quit. And if he does, you finish those portals and quit, and that is the most efficient way to run for the currencies. And then just buy up these honor shards. And a small byproduct that's really helpful is you can then go also buy the relic accessories as well, and maybe get yourself a god roll if you're extremely lucky, or even just something usable that your character can equip. But note that they are not tradable; they are untradable, so they won't give you any value. But yeah, honor shards here are of tremendous value, and if you're just killing downtime between raids, or people are AFK, or you've done all your daily content on your characters, just go in the Chaos Dungeon for, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you'll get yourself a couple of pouches every day. And this adds up very, very quick, okay? This is, buying 3 of these is more than you'd get in your weekly Unas, and as much as you would get from the T and Libra ship, so it's extremely valuable. Okay, and then the very, very last one, this one is a little bit of a variable. It depends on your region and your market, but for me at the moment, the honor shard prices in the market are actually more than it would cost for me to go and convert that gold into crystals and buy them from Mary's shop. Obviously, it's not guaranteed every time the Mary's shop refreshes, but I've just done the calculations for it myself, and I believe there's probably some tools online you can use. I'll see if I can find one and put a link in the video. But you can essentially just work out how much it costs to buy crystals and convert them, and how many crystals that would get to buy 291 crystals worth of honor shards. And that comes to roughly, I believe, 360 gold per 1,000, something like that. I'll leave a number on the screen. But for me, it's worth it by about 40 gold per large pouch profit to buy it from, or savings, I should say, not profit, but savings to buy the honor shards from Mary's store. So I've just gone and bought the last 4 I've been able to find here, and I've just got them saved. And the best part about this is that you can then use them on any character you decide. You simply just select them and claim on the character you want. And this is something to do from now up until Brelshaza's release. Every time it refreshes, if you have the money, convert it into crystals. If it's profitable, if it's a savings to buy them from this instead of the store, in the market. So you can keep an idea of how much the market costs, and then how much it costs to buy crystals, and you can do like a formula. I'll see if I can find a link to a calculator for it, but it should be very, very straightforward to work out for most people. And you should be able to make a savings on one or the other. And if it's cheaper to get them here than it is to get the crystals, then just consider investing in these packages now and storing them in your shared vault space, like I've been doing. And then as the prices get higher, just go towards Mary's shop and get the ones there and hold on to them there. But that's just a variable to it's going to be different on everyone's servers, so don't just go and do that. It's not a blanket statement. For me, this is just what it works out on Europe. With the current prices of crystals versus the market. Okay, so consider that, maybe do your own calculation, or if I can find the link, use the link and work it out yourself there. But yeah, it might be worth it just to go back and get some crystals instead. Alright, so those are all the glaringly obvious ones that I can think of to obtain honor shards that we can do up until the release of Brelshaza. Obviously we have the seasonal event, the autumnal vendor event, that's only going to be here for a limited time, and also the Mystic raid is only here for 3 weeks, and we might have more coming down the line, and there might also be login bonuses to factor in as well. So I haven't included those because they're variables that I can't necessarily account for, and it's the same for secret maps. Secret maps are variables as well, and I can't account for that, so I haven't included those in this. And obviously when we're talking about something like PvP, again, you just need to go off of the rank that you're at to the amount that you'll obtain. Okay, so 27,000 here is if you include all the previous ranks, and the same for 18,000, that's including all the previous ranks. So just bear that in mind. But these are shorthand what you can obtain in a week. Okay, and then these are the bonuses that we have at the moment as of the recording, and some of them are one-time specific, and then obviously we have the repeatable. Okay, so if we were just to look at, say, a week right now, so we could just do roughly 7,000 on the first one, and then your daily Unas. Okay, so that's another 14,000, and then we add in the Bloodstones and the weekly Unas that we recommended to do, the T and Libra, and then the Voltan, and the Vicus, which I recommend buying the boxes for. Okay, plus Clown, plus let's say 7.5 on average from the challenge dungeons, and then PvP. We'll say for now we'll start at like the middle, so somewhere between Ultra 1 and Supreme 4. So we'll just start with 6,000. Okay, and then if we add in the autumnal vendor for the first week. So right now, you could be sitting at 111,000 or 112,000 in a week minimum, okay? And then obviously if you factor in the Arc Pass, if you're saving that, which is one time, the Blood Magic vendor again, which is one time, those two combined are pretty much this same value again, so doubled. And then you have the Mayhem marks again, which is another 75. So there's well over 300,000 honor shards available to you if you haven't done any of these options already, and you can get all of the 300,000 in the first week. Okay, and the more you play, the more you will eventually accrue each week, eventually aiming for Supreme 8 in PvP, which is definitely doable, just playing a little bit each week. You know, I did maybe 5 to 10 games maximum in the previous season every week, and I was Supreme 8, and I suck. So don't worry too much about your performance. Obviously, the better you do, more points you'll accrue, so it does matter, but you can just play enough, and eventually you'll get up. Okay, so just bear all this in mind. This is kind of just a quick rundown. Maybe I missed some things out, and if I missed them out, please let me know in the comments down below, and we can add that into the total. Maybe there's already a spreadsheet out there that tells you everything you can get, and you can just tick it off as you go. But these are the glaringly obvious things that you should be focusing on from now until Brelshaza, because this value is greater than doing the leap stones, for example. Okay, it's greater than focusing your other materials. It's really going to pay off in the long run. Okay, but that doesn't mean you should neglect your silver and your gold and stuff. Still make sure you're hoarding those things up as well, because you're going to need them for honing. But this is going to cost you the most if you neglect it. So just bear that in mind, okay? And yeah, that's everything from today's video that I wanted to go through. Thank you so much for sticking along. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it's been helpful. Please let me know in the comments down below if there's anything I missed or anything that I should touch on top of this. I'm going to be covering a video where to park your characters for Brelshaza in the next video. Okay, so it's going to talk about the eye level that you want for each gate and what you can achieve from doing a gate and then honing up to the next one efficiently to save yourself a lot of time and materials, and how you might be able to make a lot of money on Brelshaza release. Okay, some of the items and the materials are really going to go up in price, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity to really cash in early. And there's also some stuff that you might want to wait a week or two, because they're going to go up in price after Brelshaza's release, and then a week or two in they're going to go up. So I'll have all that in another video coming up, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss another video. We're going to make sure we keep bringing these out up until Brelshaza, so everyone can get ready and go in there and have some fun on day one. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.